aka the CNN Podcast, where your nonprofit shines. My name is Erica Scott, and I am your host. This podcast is brought to you by Life Changers, a nonprofit organization that serves justice-involved men and women with employment skills training that keeps them out of the penal system. Amen? The sponsor of this episode is By the Book Coaching, using the Holy Bible to help you rise above average. So this episode is jam-packed full of goodies for you. So what are we talking about today, Erica? Well, today, let's talk about 9 free ways to grow the team for your nonprofit organization. Why do we need a team? How do you operate without a team? Even if it's a team of 2 or a team of 20, come on, whoever's been with us for 5 episodes already knows what I'm about to say. Your nonprofit is a business. So we have to get out of that mom and pop shop business mentality. If you want to grow it, if you want to scale it, if you want to make a bigger impact, then you need not just a bigger team, because you can be a small but mighty team. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Soul Food, but Big Mama, she said, we're a small bunch, but we make a mighty punch or something like that. But it's basically saying it's not about the numbers, it's about the impact. And, you know, if you have a team who's resourceful, who is up to date on technology, on the latest trends, the best practices, business growth, that sort of thing, and self-motivated, where you don't have to take your time out to, hey, come on, we can do this. And, you know, you don't have to play cheerleader every day, then that helps a lot. You know, everyone needs to carry their own weight, but as the leader, yes, it starts with you. So it is up to you as the leader to know how to grow the team, because every team can't be grown the same way. But most importantly, to know what pieces your team needs in order to take it to that next level. So that next level could be going from serving your immediate community to serving your city, to serving your county, to serving your state. So that's basically what you are looking at. How can you grow? What direction should you grow in? And you need a team to help with that, because even though you started this, you are probably the most passionate about it as the founder. As the executive director, you may head it up. Even if you didn't start it, you may be that passionate about it to where you see where this can go. And that's great for the founder, that to have seen in you that spark and the ingenious ways that you could be so helpful to grow the team and the organization as a whole. So hopefully that made sense. But yes, that is why you want to develop your team. And that team is basically going to be made up of dedicated, loyal, faithful, sharing and caring service attitude, service-minded individuals. Service-minded individuals, because we're here to serve. We are here to do for others what they cannot do for themselves, or to at least help them where they are deficient, be it food, be it clothing, be it housing, be it social services, mental health, medical services, family reunification, needing a place for their dog to go because they can't afford to take care of them anymore. We're all here to serve a common good, or just being a great resource hub like United Way. Every call I get and they ask, well, do you do this? Do you have that? And I say, well, no, but we have resources. And I'll give them 3 resources every time. And one of those is guaranteed to be United Way. That's all it is. That's all it boils down to. And because they have established themselves as a staple in the community organization space, that they are the number one, as far as I know, for resources. They're not like Goodwill, who's resourceful and they actually do things. If United Way does anything, then I stand corrected. But I've always known them to be a place for resources. I mean, any resource that's out here, they know about it because I've used them for various reasons, but mostly for helping people who come to me. Amen. So that is why we want to grow our team, but there are different ways to do it. So I'm going to share with you 9 ways, and folks, you know me. By the time I finish recording this, I may come up with another one. So, I love to give extra. I love to under-promise and over-deliver. That's been my mantra forever and a day since I started working at 8 years old tutoring a friend's little brother. Okay, so some of these you may know and you may already use. And that's great. Like I always say, track it so you can tweak it. And whatever platform you're using, track it. We had an episode a few weeks back with our Google manager, Miss Ariane Garcia, and she was sharing good information on how to use Google Analytics and Google Ads to track what you're doing, because that's how she knows how to improve the ads. So you can use it to know how to improve your Facebook and all your social media, whatever platforms you're using. Connect your Google Analytics so that you can see. And this is no different. Whatever you're doing to get the team members in, to get their attention, to get them to sign up, to get them to join you, whatever is working best, you want to ramp those efforts up. And a great way to do that is plug into Google Analytics so there's no guessing game, and you can see, okay, that post or that YouTube video or that page on the website is drawing the most eyeballs, is getting the most attention and the most signups, so let's do more of that, okay? And I'll go into that a little bit further as we go along. So now let's get into it. So let me briefly describe the different types of team members you can have and how you can maximize and how you can create the best win-win situation for both you and them. So the first up, we have volunteers. Volunteers make nonprofit and community organizations go round. I mean, they are the reason why we are even able to exist. Amen. They do so much of the work, and a great volunteer, you would not know, or someone who does outside of your organization would not know whether they're paid or not. That's an awesome volunteer. And like the young lady I just mentioned, Miss Ariane Garcia, she is definitely one of those where, if we could, she would definitely be on payroll. She would definitely be on payroll. So volunteers are great. They can be long-term. I've had some volunteers, because we're only virtual, they felt that they weren't techie enough to maneuver things like HubSpot and social media. Working online, the only thing you really can do to help us is write blog posts, and they didn't feel like they were good writers. So that's basically the reason why they weren't able to work with us. But that's not to say they won't be able to work with you, especially if you do have a location, a facility already. Awesome. So now, another type of team member that I really absolutely love to work with are interns. And if you go back to an episode about, if you go back about 5 episodes, that episode is titled something I'm going off the top of my head now. I didn't have this in my show notes. But that episode is titled something like How to Create a Successful Internship Program for Your Nonprofit Organization. And in that one, I had a chat with 2 interns who have since graduated from the internship program, and Rashia, who was our communications organizer. And I actually spoke with Rashia a while back in an episode as far as being a millennial volunteer. Okay, because that's a big thing. I don't know what you experience, but what I have noticed in the 20-something years that I've been in and out of community organizations is that it's kind of unheard of to have young people, millennials, volunteer. Some do. So yes, the interns are extremely important. And that I urge you, if you're even thinking about doing an internship program, go back to that episode, and that we gave a lot of good information on that. And it's simply whatever you do, yes, this is a business, but it is, the atmosphere is going to be different. And although you may not understand why somebody's doing what you can ask them. I interview volunteers. I interview volunteers. I interview interns. Not so much community service, but I interview volunteers and interns like I'm considering them for a paid position. And I would urge you to do the same. Just because someone's volunteering doesn't mean they're a good fit for your organization. Okay? But yes, you don't know what somebody's why is. Even if you ask them, you may not get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So that is something that you have to feel, and it really helps to be a good people person. It does really help to be a good people person. So, okay, volunteers, those are people who are just coming to do good in their community. Some say give back, and they're just good-hearted people. They just want to help others. They want to serve. A lot of faith-based people do just that. They serve, because that's, especially if they are followers of Jesus Christ, we serve. Amen? Amen. So, and then interns, it can be an unpaid or a paid internship program. If you have been listening to the CNN podcast for a while, you'll know quite a few episodes back, I had a follow-up discussion with Caitlin Ball of Cobb Collaborative, and she was talking about her internship program, and hers was paid. And well, I didn't know that until that episode, that hers was paid, whereas Life Changers, ours is unpaid. So you have both, because just come to find out during the exit interview with one of my interns lately, shout out to Samantha Howard, she came from our unpaid internship and now is going into a summer paid internship. And during the exit interview, she let it be known that it's well paid. Okay? So, and that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. In ours, Life Changers, we don't pay. We don't have a budget for it. However, we do give a letter of recommendation, and we do serve as a reference if need be. So, but you know what? It's paid. Yeah, that's great. One thing I stress about any internship program is leadership skills have got to be on point. Your leadership skills have got to be up to par. And business, knowing your business. Because if you're not sure what you are supposed to be doing in your business, what are you telling them to do? What are you having them do? The one, okay. I take a breath there because I was about to get real excited. One thing you cannot do, folks, please listen. If you listen to nothing else in this episode, please listen. One thing you cannot do, and I'll say this in my humble opinion, is bring somebody in and expect them to do everything. The purpose of an internship program is to teach them real business world tactics, methods, processes, strategies, thought patterns. That's the point of an internship program, because they don't get these things in school. It is not to bring them in to have them do all the work, to figure out what needs to be done. Now, they do need to have some type of problem solving skills, but you should already have the answer and know the various ways, to get to that end result. Not saying that they may not come up with a way that you can add to your toolkit. However, you should already know. It shouldn't be, well, I don't know. I was hoping you would know. No. That is not what an internship program is for. So that's why I say your leadership skills must be up to par. If you are still figuring out your business, your nonprofit, your community organization, that's fine. And as you learn, you bring somebody in and you teach them what you've already learned. And yeah, they may come in with skills and talents and knowledge that you don't know about, resources. Well, have you tried using that app? Well, have you gone to this website? That's fine. I'm not saying that shouldn't be, but what I'm saying is you should already know how to get this done. The reason why we use interns is because, yes, I have been a business owner for over 20 years. I've been an entrepreneur, and I stay in learning mode. If you've heard me once, you've heard me 1,000 times say you have to stay in learning mode. I stay in learning mode. I try to learn something new every day, and I'm pretty successful at that. And it doesn't mean, oh, I found this new process and I know all about it, but no, I know that process exists, and it looks to be more efficient than what I'm doing now. Now, on that note, and I did not mean to go down this rabbit hole, but it's worth chasing a rabbit. So on that note, when you are learning your business and what you need to do in it and the apps to put together to make this work with that and to build up that efficiency, that automation, that's going to help elevate your business, then for one, please always remember there is a learning curve to every single thing that you don't know about. I just had this conversation with a client not even 30 minutes before I got on here to record this. I literally, because now we got her up and going, and she's growing, and now it's time to take her to the next phase with automation, because now she's adding products, and she's a service-based business, but now she's adding products. And that's going well, but it's taking her longer than it needs to get the products and her follow-up. There are things that we need to be doing. She's not a community organization or a nonprofit, but I'm a business coach for whoever needs help in their business. Amen. So, but the automation is something that we really need to implement, especially when it is a smaller group. So everything from automating text messages, if you're heavy in text messaging in your nonprofit, automating the follow-up emails for those who if you do have a facility and people come in to your facility, but you only do that by appointment, and they are able to make an appointment online, that's automation. And that appointment, once made, automatically sends them an email, like, the day before their appointment. Hey, your appointment to come pick up your food from the pantry is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Click here to cancel, click here to reschedule. That's automation, right? And the only thing you need to see is in the morning, who do we have coming today? While that automation, the day before, if they canceled or rescheduled, they won't be on that day's calendar anymore. See, so there are ways to get all this done, but you need to know. Now I don't want you going chasing every shiny object, okay? Just because it looks good does not mean it's good for you. Amen? Let me say that again, because that is definitely worth repeating. Just because it looks good does not mean it's good for you. Okay? So now, Jesus, this was not supposed to be a whole episode on the different types of team members, but I'll get through this, I promise you. So we talked about volunteers, and those are indefinite amounts of time. They're able to do anything, and a lot of them you can look more to as a peer as opposed to an intern who is looking to learn from you. So you're more like a mentor and they're a mentee, right? So now the third type of team member who I use and a lot of nonprofit and community organizations don't use are community service workers. These are people who had a run-in with the law and have been either A, mandated by the court to complete community service hours. Those are the ones you'll see picking up trash on the side of the road, sometimes volunteering at the ASPCA or at county government facilities, depending on their charge. So, but also those who have not been to court yet, but their attorney says, well, I have a better chance of getting this thrown out if you go and complete 40 hours with a nonprofit organization, make sure it's a 501c3, and they'll give you a letter on letterhead. I have no problem with that. No problem with that. Why? We have some of the best. We have had, I tell you no lie. We have had some of the best, very best community service workers. It was a God thing. Because like right now, literally, I have one of our community service workers just finished submitting 4 grant applications on grants.gov. Awesome. And so, folks, when I say community service workers and court, unfortunately, too many people think, I don't want them near me. No, I'm not dealing with those people. You may be thinking of some alcoholic, drug addict, rapist, child molester. You have so many people. The majority of ours, I will say, have had like a DUI. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. They're not, for one, we're doing virtual, but for two, I don't turn anybody away as far as based on what they did, because I know the majority of us have done something that could have got us locked up. Okay. Even if you don't want to admit it, or even if you don't realize it, that lie that you told way back when, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that could have gotten you locked up. So I don't judge anybody, period. But what you need to realize is people who have community service hours to do have regular jobs. They work, like good paying jobs. They are highly functional. They are intelligent. They are intuitive. They are self-motivated, you know. So even if you have a facility, again, everyone on our team works virtually from home. But even if you have a facility and you decide to take community service workers, you don't have to take them. You don't have to take this I ask, okay, what's your charge? That is perfectly legal. What is your charge? You know, first of all, because we are virtual, if you have a charge that involves computers, you can't work with us anyway. Because more than likely that PO said you got to stay away from computers. You know, so if you have a facility and it deals with children, you know, you have a group home or something like that, then you can't, anyone who has been charged or convicted of an offense dealing with child abuse, child neglect, anything of that nature, no, of course you can't use them. They can't come with, no. But I'm just saying that is something that many people will not do. And I've spoken about this before. Now, I will say this, if you do choose to do it, make sure you're doing it for the right reason. Because for one, you will have the authorities, and I don't care who's listening to this podcast, they may be listening to it now. I believe, I'll say this, I believe the authorities have sent undercovers who have attempted to bribe me into signing off on their hours for money. And I'll leave it at that. I've had been proposed to on 3 separate occasions. Yeah, trying to be slick with it, but no. You're going to do your work. You're going to work. I need your work more than I need your money. I'll just say that. So all that to say, volunteers, interns, community service workers, and then of course the last is when you get a budget, paid employees are going to be part of your team. Okay, so now where do you find your team? Where do you find your team? Now we're going to go into the various ways to find your team to build up your nonprofit organization. Amen? First on the list, my absolute favorite is LinkedIn. Why? Why not go to the largest professional network? It's not so much social media, but it is a network of professionals. LinkedIn is a vibrant community of businesses and people looking for work. And all of my volunteers have come from 2 places, LinkedIn or Google. And I'll get to Google in a minute. But LinkedIn. So how do you use LinkedIn? You don't go in under your personal profile. No. LinkedIn allows you to create a company page. You create a company page and you complete all the details. Takes all of maybe 30 minutes. Okay. Your name, what you want it to look like in the URL. So it'll say linkedin.com/company/ABC nonprofit. Okay. And you complete it all. How many employees? What's your industry? Where are you located? What's your phone number? What's your website? And you then go to your personal profile. You update your profile and connect it to this nonprofit. Okay? So now, with that company page, you are able to use one free job posting. Okay? You go to that job posting and you title it what? Volunteer, whatever that position is that you're looking to fill. Volunteer administrative assistant, volunteer social media marketer, volunteer website designer, volunteer receptionist, whatever it is, start it with volunteer. Because I'll tell you what, even though you start it with volunteer, that will keep a lot of the people away who are looking for paid positions. Be fair. First of all, you don't want to waste your time nor theirs. Even with volunteer at the beginning of your title, you're still going to get people who don't realize it's a volunteer position. But hey, you know what? You got to love them all. So you create the job post and be as detailed as possible in the description. I don't know. I've made some really long job posts. Why? Because I want everything explained to them. Okay? So you either email you or call you, but remember again, if you're looking for volunteers, you may already be working with a small team, and it may be a team of one. So as one, we need to be as proficient as possible. So you create the description and you share that to your network. Okay? In that description, you can do things like, after your detailed description, you can say something like, for more information, visit, and you put a link to your website page for volunteer opportunities, and I'll talk about that in a minute. You can also put email volunteer@abcnonprofit.org, or you may even want to say something like, if interested, please click here to schedule a 30-minute chat with me to see if we're a good fit. Okay? What I love about LinkedIn, they're awesome. After you do your details, you're not done. Because they have automated, and this is all free. You get one free. You can do as many paid, but I'm telling you how to maximize your one free. And this is how we have gotten some, and our awesome team, the majority of them came from LinkedIn. Okay? So after you're done with your description, you can then create one. LinkedIn has it where, okay, once they do this, well, first of all, what are the skills you want them to have? Are these mandatory? After they apply, what message do you want them to receive? If you say that they're not a fit, that will be a rejection letter, a rejection message, the inbox on LinkedIn. And they have one already preset that that's perfectly fine to use, but you can customize it, easy peasy. And they have not a fit, maybe, and good fit. Okay? So, and you can customize each one of these messages. And so then you can also have it where LinkedIn will email you. You put in what email you want LinkedIn to send your notification to, that Jane Smith applied for your volunteer admin assistant position. Okay? So it's extremely robust. All you need, honestly, all you need, because again, you have that scheduler in there, that link for them to click to book their appointment, and the appointment automatically goes into your calendar, and you get the notification that Jane Smith has booked an appointment. Mine comes in, you're booked. Okay, great. But again, it's a learning curve. You need to learn how to do this. But again, once you get used to it, so the first time it's not going to take you 30 minutes. The first time may take you about 45 minutes to an hour, but it is worth it. It's an investment. You're going to invest one of two things, if not both, time and or money. I'm just saying. Okay, so that's LinkedIn, and you can always go back there and tweak it, turn that post off if you don't need it, go in there and change it. But let me give you a bonus tip on this one. And this is what I tell my clients. When you go in and you're doing the free one, and I've gotten good results from this, and I only share what I've gotten good results from. On that job post, if you put in volunteers needed, what did I put? Volunteers, something like volunteers needed for nonprofit, or something like that. or it may have said various volunteer positions available, something like that. And that one there, so it was an all encompassing. It was an all in one. I had, because at the time I needed a social media marketer, I needed a CFO and treasurer, I needed a blogger, I needed about 5 positions. I needed about 5 positions, and 3 of those got filled from that one post. That was it. 3 of those got filled from that one post. I think that one had, well, because it had so many positions in it, that one had about 97. Actually, I think it had over 100 by the time I took it down. Over 100 views. And out of those 100 views, about 15 applied. Right. About 15 applied, and 3 came on board. So that's the number. It's a numbers game, though. We're talking about volunteers. We're not talking about jobs. Paid. We're not talking about paid positions. We're talking about volunteers. And if you're new to the nonprofit and community organization space, then yeah, you'll learn quick. It is a numbers game. I mean, think about it. Jobs, paid positions, big companies are talking about how they're having to pay more and more because the turnover is so high. So now we're having to filter through all those people who are wanting more money on their positions, and now so we're looking for the few good ones who are looking for opportunities to do good, and it's a numbers game. Just get used to that. It's a numbers game. So now next on the list we have Facebook. Everybody, I'm sure, listening to this, not just has heard of Facebook, I'm sure you've heard of Facebook, but has been on Facebook. Well, maybe you've been trying to, enlist help from your personal profile. So, quick lesson, in case you don't know, you have a Facebook profile that talks about Jane Smith, and then you have a Facebook business page, and that talks about ABC Nonprofit. And again, you would create, just like LinkedIn, you would create a business page for ABC Nonprofit and link it to Jane Smith profile as an employment, okay? As one of, as a job, or as a position, I think it's called on Facebook. I haven't been in there in a minute. I'm very big on LinkedIn. I'm very not so much on Facebook. So, and on Facebook, once you have your page created, you can then create a position in your page, for your page. And pretty quick, it's not hard. I'll say this, I've never gotten anybody. I've created about 5 positions on Facebook and have never gotten anybody. I think that's why God brought me a video on LinkedIn, because I didn't even know LinkedIn had company pages. LinkedIn is one of those many people don't use until they need it, either looking for a job or, looking for a position. And I'm like that. I hadn't been on LinkedIn probably in about 7 or 8 years. And when I went back, they were a brand new, whole nother ball game. So Facebook works a lot like LinkedIn, but just not nearly as robust. Unless they've done something differently in like the last 2 months, they're not nearly as robust. However, Facebook is the giant as far as social media and has more, I would say, older, mature, people use different adjectives. But for what I'm doing, I just don't, they're not looking to volunteer with an organization that serves justice involved men and women. They might for dogs, they might for homeless, but for mine, no, they don't. So although I do maintain a company page on there, and I share our videos, our YouTube videos, the podcast, everything. We're very active on there. We're very active on there. As far as volunteers, interns, community service, I've never gotten anyone from there. So, but again, don't take my word for it. Use it yourself. So next on the list, and sticking with social media, is Instagram. And again, you can create a separate Instagram account for your nonprofit and make it a business account, a professional business account. And you can actually connect it to your business Facebook page. Okay? You can connect it to your Facebook business page. So on your business account, you would create a cute picture. You can use Canva. I've shared Canva on here plenty of times. Canva's free version is awesome, but they do have the next level up. I forget what it's called because I wasn't even planning on mentioning them, but they do have the next level up for nonprofit. If you Google Canva for nonprofits, you fill in your company information, explain what it is you do, who you help, and they'll give you, I think they say give them like 7 to 10 days, business days. I got a response that night, like 4 hours later. No promises. I'm just letting you know my personal experience. But you can go into Canva, make a cute picture, or if you already have a volunteer page on your website, then that same picture is what you want to put on your business page, okay, on Instagram. And you put that post on there. And Instagram, if you don't know Instagram, the one thing you have to know about it is Instagram is all about the hashtags. The great thing is when you're making a post, and if you think, okay, well, volunteer, that's going to be a big hashtag. But if you do something like you do hashtag and you start typing animal shelter, you'll see Instagram show you animal shelter and how many posts that hashtag has appeared in. And it will show you more and more and more. So it may be animal shelters gets more engagement or is used more than animal shelter. Little things like that can make a big difference. Amen. So Instagram business, professional business page, make a post. If you have a pretty vibrant personal Instagram page yourself, tag yourself in it. Yeah, go ahead and tag yourself in it. Okay, so now keep the party going. So now remember, all of those that I just shared, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, everything can be used to get your volunteers, your interns, and your community service workers if you want to reach out for all of those. So, create different posts. LinkedIn, I told you how to get those into that one job post. But that doesn't mean, now remember, that job posting is like an advertisement for this position. That is not the same as posting on your page wall, so to speak. Everybody knows Facebook wall, but it's not the same as you can post on your page as often as you want. That job post is like an advertisement. Okay, so that gets pushed out in a different way than your LinkedIn business, than your LinkedIn company page. Okay, your company page, if you just created it, it doesn't have any traction. You haven't pushed it out to your network yet. So nobody's really going to see that. But the job post is different. That gets pushed out just as if you're paying for it. Okay, so I know I didn't make that distinction. That's why it's so robust. It wasn't so successful because I was posting on Life Changers company page on LinkedIn. It was because I did the job posting on LinkedIn. And you'll see it when you create your company page on LinkedIn. You'll see off to the side, on my screen anyway, on the side, it says create free job posting. That's what you want. Click that. And make sure you follow all the free steps, unless you don't mind paying. But I'm telling you how I still use it to this day. I just created another one 2 days ago before the recording. So, okay, so now those are social media. And next up, we have Handshake. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but one of my mentees, shout out to Emerald Tooney of Feminine Cares. We interviewed her on here a couple of months ago, before the holidays. And she actually brought me Handshake. So that is an awesome, awesome website. That's a website. It's not a social media. It's not. Handshake is the only all-in-one early talent recruiting platform connecting you to 12 million plus students and alumni across 90% of, listen to it, listen, the top educational institution in the United States. Okay? Handshake is awesome. It's easy to use, and the free version, of course, there's companies, of course there's a paid version, but the free version is so robust. And I know I use that word a lot, but when something is robust, I'm going to use it, because if you give me so much stuff, it's like, wow, they don't have a charge for this? That to me is robust. If I can get done what I need to get done, and it's not a matter of every little thing I need to connect to make this work has a charge to it, it's robust to me. It's absolutely robust. And Handshake is no exception. So basically how it works is you set up your business, you set up your nonprofit in there, and it's a business. It is a business because, AT&T and whoever else, I don't know that AT&T uses them, but I'm just saying big companies use Handshakes. This is for interns. This is not for volunteers. Let me make that clear. This is for internship programs, paid and unpaid. And that's why I say big businesses use this as well. So this is where you would go in and set up your business, and you get to choose what schools. You get to choose, and again, this is from as many, whatever schools you can think of. You get 14 schools as of this recording. You get 14 colleges for free. Okay, so like I have Florida A&M. I have, I think one is called Virginia Central. I believe Spelman, Morehouse, Jackson State University. I believe, yeah. I can't remember. The only reason why I don't use it as much as I would like to is because being legally blind, I can't navigate certain websites. And if I can't turn a website into dark mode, I can't be on there for long. And it is robust to where you can do this and do that and, go over here and message over there, where I need to be on it for a while, and I can't be on that kind of website. So unfortunately, I was able to get some things done, but I don't think I was able to optimize it simply because I couldn't see everything. So I probably looked on there looking real silly. But I did get a couple of responses, but I don't know if I reached back out to them in a way that they got it. So I left it alone. I just left it alone and went back to my go-to, LinkedIn. But Handshake is awesome. And it's not like a long wait. It's pretty quick. You get approved. I'll tell you the key. A bonus tip with Handshake. I'm not going to say must, because you might be able to skirt around some, but to optimize your time and efforts on Handshake, you really need to have a business, a professional email. So Jane at abcnonprofit.org. not ABC Nonprofit at Yahoo. That's Yahoo, Gmail, AOL, any of those. That is not professional. It's an email, but it's not professional. Your professional is connected to your domain. Folks, I know there's a way to do things free, and you can. But if you're only going to go the free route, then please don't be disappointed when you're not getting the growth, the reach, and the expansion, the results that you seek. Okay? Like I said a little while ago, and I'll reiterate it. You're going to pay using one of two currencies: time and or money. So, what does it take to get a professional email? Not much. You can go, the cheapest route I can suggest you go is get a domain from GoDaddy, cheap domain or whatever. I use GoDaddy for everything. So, but you can get cheap domains. And let's see, I just bought a domain on Monday. Yeah, I just bought a domain on Monday for $12.17 after tax. I mean, really. So now, an email, if you go to GoDaddy, you'll get 2 emails. Well, one email, you can do one email, is about $50 for a year. Okay? Trust me, it's come down a lot. But $50 for a year will get you an Outlook 360 as of this recording. Will get you Outlook 365, which I absolutely love. Easy to use and really good. But if you don't want to pay the $50, then you can go to Zoho.com and you can connect your domain to their free email provider, their free email service. Okay? And Zoho is known for their CRM capabilities, and CRM is customer relationship management system. And but you don't have to use that. You don't have to use that. They have Zoho Mail, and it's free, and you can connect your ABC Nonprofit.org domain that you just bought for whatever it's going to cost. And Zoho, you can connect it to their system for free. And you'll be Jane at abcnonprofit.org. Okay? So let's keep going because we have quite a bit to cover. So now, next on the list is Volunteer Match. And folks, as always, you are more than welcome to come to the website, thecnnpodcast.com, to get links to all of these things in the show notes. Whatever I'm talking about is right here. I actually make the show notes first so that I don't forget. And that helps me stay on track also. But yeah, you can get the links to Handshake and to Volunteer Match. The things like LinkedIn, you can go on to YouTube to see videos on how to connect that. But as always, like I said, I am a business coach, so you're more than welcome to reach out to me. And, you know, I'm here to help. I'm always here to help. So let's keep it moving. Volunteer Match is one of, if not the largest, I would say, volunteer hub. And I'm not sure if they're worldwide, but I know they're here in the States. I found out about them through another guest on a previous episode. Shout out to John McMicken of Rescue Leftover Cuisine, Atlanta. And he explained that that's where he goes to get his volunteers. And again, it's super easy. And I have gotten well, I'll say this. I don't use them as much as I would like to, for the same reason I don't use Handshake as much as I would like to, because websites that don't allow me to put it into dark mode, I can't do much on. But Volunteer Match, I was at it depends on how my eyes are doing that day. And I was able to make a post on there, and I got somebody in a very important position that I was really, really needing, and had not had any, response on LinkedIn. Oh, I was disappointed, but that's all right, because who we got, that's who we needed. That's exactly who we needed. So that's Volunteer Match, and they are the most effective way to recruit highly qualified volunteers. So it's not just, somebody who feels like doing something. They are highly qualified volunteers for your nonprofit. And volunteer matches you with people who are passionate about what it is you're doing. Okay? So that is definitely a good place to go. Again, it's volunteermatch.com. And if you forget, just come on here to thecnnpodcast.com and get the link. So now I've touched on it a couple of times, but your website, folks, you should have a website. You should have a website. You should have a website with your domain on it. And I'll touch on that again in a minute, because I've touched on it too so many times in previous episodes. But your website, abcnonprofit.org, should have a page on it for each of the type of team members you're willing to work with. So if you're working with volunteers, you should have a page for volunteer opportunities and have it spelled out. Again, you want to have your website explain as many details as possible to give the person what they're looking for. You don't want to make somebody contact you. Okay? And again, if you're looking for volunteers, it's for a reason. Why? Because you need somebody to help take some of these things off of your plate. Well, put a volunteer opportunity page on your website with a great description and a form that they can complete, or a link to your booking page to schedule a 30-minute conversation with you to see if you are a good fit, if you two are a good fit to work together. Okay? So, and again, you do the same thing if you have an internship program. You always explain what they get out of it as a volunteer, as an intern. If you're going to take community service workers, great. Explain, how is it done? What kind of hours are you looking for? What kind of responsibilities are you looking for? In all these positions, what are you needing them to help with? Are you needing them to help with janitorial stuff? Are you needing them to help with answering phones? Are you needing them to help with serving food? Be as specific and detailed as possible. And what will they get at the end? So the internship, like I said, it's not paid, but they get a letter of recommendation. So that's said on there. And then as you have these positions filled and completed, now, I'll say this. I don't do this with community service workers because that is more sensitive segment of our organization. But with volunteers and interns, we have an About Us page that tells about Life Changers as an organization, but we also have Meet Our Team. And that is a picture and a bio of everyone who works with us. And you just go in and update it. Like I just took the 2 interns who just graduated out. And, it's always a revolving thing. It's an ever-changing page. But you know what? I'm not going to get too techie into this, but that is good Google juice, as they call it in the marketing world. Because they like to see that you are actively working in your website. You're changing things around. They don't like stale websites. They will not deliver stale websites. Okay? So if you haven't touched your website in a month, get in there and do something. Get in there and add a page, delete a page, change some words on a page or something. They like of course they want to see value added to your website. If you have words in there, misspelled or whatever, they want to see that change. They see everything. They see everything. But yeah, definitely stay up to date on your website. Well, if you're not having time If you don't have the time for it, or you don't know how to do it, somebody else set it up for you and they're no longer with you, that sounds like a volunteer position you need to be looking for. Okay, so that's your website. And now, why do you need a website with your own domain? Erica, you always talk about a website and domain, and it's a business. Yeah, it is a business. And guess what? I want you to be able to advertise like a big business. How? Google Ads grant. And I know, you've heard me talk about this. Like I said, I just spoke with Miss Ariane Garcia, our Google manager, who handles our Google Ads and our Google Analytics. And why? Because ads, folks, you get up to $10,000 a month in ad spend, not in your pocket, not in your bank account, not coming through your PayPal or your Zelle, but in ad spend. If you have ever run an ad on Google, then you understand the value in that. It's not just $10,000. Like, oh, okay, that can buy a decent car. No. In ad spend, yes, folks. This is why you must have a website with your own domain that you own. abcnonprofit.com. We have lifechangersinc.org. Well, yeah, because if you're a nonprofit, you want .org. We have lifechangersinc.org. We have staylitacademy.org. That is the website where our programs are explained. But you need a domain with your nonprofit name. And because you can't apply for the Google Ads grant without it. You simply can't. So if you have your website and you have your volunteer page on there, or your internship page, or your community service, because we have ads for all this. You have all these pages up, optimized, SEO friendly, search engine optimization, search engine, Google, Yahoo, Bing, those are all search engines. You want to optimize your website, your pages, for them to be friendly. And a quick tip on that, because I am a marketer and marketing helps people understand what you do and helps attract them to you. And so one thing that you should do on your website is always make sure your writing is on a 5th grade reading level. Shh, don't tell anybody I shared that with you. But yeah, make sure it's easy reading, right? The other thing, and this is what I even have one of my community service workers wrote great blog posts, but you could tell he was old school blogger. He was not actively blogging anymore, but because our content, people are coming to our websites and social media and all that from mobile devices, phones and tablets. You can't do anything about it on your social media, but on your website, you want to keep your paragraphs down to maybe 1.5 to 2 lines, because and this is if you do it from a desktop. If you update and write your blog posts and all that from a desktop, then because when they come to your website and go to your blog post or go to your webpage to see about volunteers and interns, and it only looks like 5 lines on a desktop. By the time it's condensed down to a mobile device or a tablet or a phone, it's now like 25, 30 lines long. Easy to get lost. Whereas if you have it just to like 1.5 to maybe 3 lines on your website, then on a mobile device, you're talking about maybe 8 or 9 lines. So it makes for easy reading. So few lines, and on a 5th grade level, they'll be more likely to stay on your website and read everything that you've written. whether it's about a volunteer opportunity or what they get out of the internship or how to get signed up with the community service. It's all about serving the people who come to your website visitors. So that's a tidbit on websites and Google and how to optimize both. You really want to optimize both. Don't just happen to have them. Optimize both of them. For one, we never know when. I mean, Google Ads Grant been around forever, but we never know when they may decide to take it back. Be like, you know what? As of such and such date, Google Ads Grant will be reduced to $1,000, which would break my heart. Or worse, even worse, Google Ads Grant will no longer be. Period. So go ahead and get the relationships going. Learn how to do all these things now, so that you're in the habit of how to write the best ads, or how to even set up ads. What is an ad? What's an ad set? Learn these things. Okay. All right, we're moving. We're getting it done. Getting down this list. So now, community foundations. Awesome. I am a member of Cobb Community Foundation. I've spoken about these on previous episodes. They are nationwide. And if you're in a large city, you may have that city community foundation. Because I believe there's an Atlanta Community Foundation. I'm not sure that there's a Fulton County Community Foundation. There might be. I don't know. I don't live in either one. But where I am in Georgia, it is Cobb Community Foundation because I live in Cobb County. My city, although it's not small, is not big enough to have that many nonprofits. What is a community foundation? I'm glad you asked. Awesome. It is an awesome resource. It's an awesome hub of resources for nonprofit organizations. Although they do have dealings with people like donors want to, they deal with trusts, estates, that sort of thing also, but they are a great hub for nonprofits. Well, I'll say this, and shout out to Kat, who is no longer with Cobb Community Foundation. Boo-hoo. She was awesome. She's absolutely awesome. But she is the one who suggested to me that I do accept community service workers. What? Because she said they get calls from them all the time. For whatever reason, they don't use them. They won't let them complete their hours with them. But hey, I have no problem with it. I do not discriminate. I do not discriminate. So, but yes, the foundations are they're free. They're free. They are an absolute awesome resource for getting volunteers, for interns, because what they'll do is you have a profile. Okay, it's kind of like a social media. It's not a social media like you go hang out there, but you set up a profile like on social media. And in that profile, you get to choose what you do, what kind of help you need. And although they don't have a tab for community service workers in my foundation website, they have volunteer. The way it's in there, it looks like it's a volunteer. I think it says something like community, like volunteer community service workers, something like that. So they'll call but you know what? These foundations, their websites get a lot of traffic. They get a lot of traffic. When I say a lot of traffic, they get a lot of traffic. And honestly, we have some really good ads. We have some, we milk Google for all they got. But we get about half and half traffic online, comes half from the foundation, half from Google. So, and that comes from the foundation having so much traffic. Now, of course, I would have to say it would also depend on how vibrant and how thriving your foundation is. So if they're not plugged in to the community and, connecting here and there, like being a true hub for the community, like they're meant to be, you may not get the results that you're looking for, but still be there. And hey, if you have suggestions on how you can help them, you might want to chip in, see if you can volunteer with them or advise or, something like that. Don't step on anybody's toes, but just see if you can chip in and be that useful piece of advice as to how to get it back up and thriving. Okay, so now let's keep this party going. Okay, so now here is another awesome way to reach out to the community. Your local chamber of commerce is an awesome place to network and to bring attention to your nonprofit organization and what they're doing. Now, here on the CNN podcast, we share free and low cost resources and information, that to help grow you and your nonprofit. The Chamber of Commerce, the fees vary location to location. If it's a city chamber, a county chamber, whatever. I don't know what it is everywhere else. I know here in Cobb, nonprofits, when I checked with them last year in 2022, was $500. That was the discount. 500 or 250? Oh, okay. I don't remember, but there was a discount. Just to give you an idea, Cobb is a big place. Cobb is a thriving place. Cobb County is huge. I mean, it really is huge, and it's a higher. There are different factors that I guess that go into pricing a Chamber of Commerce membership fee. I'm just saying. I know when I set my daughter up with her county chamber, which is right next to Cobb, hers was $500, and they are thriving. They are a thriving. I mean, they have a calendar full of events, and when I say thriving, that's what I mean. They have the networking events. They have, even during mid-COVID. This was mid-COVID 2021. They had networking events, virtual events. So I did the virtual because I managed her business. So I handled the virtual events. I attended those, and so that, we got out there and we're known. She didn't mind, she didn't mind going to in-person. I wasn't doing in-person. Plus, I don't live close to her. So she did the in-person meet and greets and coffee, breakfast and lunch and all that stuff. I did virtual, coffee. They had virtual coffee. They had virtual meet and greet, networking, get your name known and different resources and so forth. That's what these are for. The foundation, that's what it's for. The Chamber of Commerce, that's what it's for. We had on a previous episode, shout out to Eileen Barton of Cobb Collaborative, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Cobb Collaborative. They bring together nonprofit and community organizations, and they have meet and greets. They have, they have their own agenda as an organization, but they are also a very big tool and resource for networking nonprofits. And I mean, when you plug into these types of organizations, and I don't mean to plug in and make your profile and never be seen again. I mean active, be active. That's what I mean. Be active with them. Then you'll definitely see some results. And it's a compound interest effect. It's not a one and done. Okay, I did my profile. Okay, I attended a meeting. Now why don't I? No. It's all about doing the most you can, making the most of your time and your energy. Okay, so if you know that 9 to 10 a.m. is your slowest time, then see if one of these things that you're plugging into may have coffee and a virtual coffee, unless you don't mind going in person, or it's not that far, you want to go in person, that's fine too. But you may do a virtual coffee meet and greet, and just to plug in. You don't have to know everybody, but 5 to 10 key people who you have on speed dial, or you know their names. You're like, oh, who was that I met? You don't have to go through all that. You know who this person is. You know what they do. You know the name of their company. That all you need is a few key people. Remember, I said a small bunch can make a mighty punch. I don't think that's what she said in Soul Food, but I'm sticking with it. I'm saying it sounds good to me. You get the point. So that's the chamber. And now, rounding out, well, ding, 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 ding. Bonus time. So I almost forgot this. I don't know how, but I almost forgot this. YouTube. Why wouldn't you make a video to go on YouTube, the #1 search engine in the world as of this recording? Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, it's owned by Google. But the thing with the Google ad grant is that it can only be text. Now, I say only be, but trust me, that puts your writing skills to the test, because we get some really good, January the whole month, we had 249,000 impressions on our ads. We have about 18 ads. You can have $10,000 a month, up to $10,000 a month. It's done on a daily basis. It's up to $332 a day, up to $10,000 a month. Okay, and we had 249,000 impressions. No videos and no pictures. You can't use videos or pictures. Now you can connect a paid account if you want, and that's different. But I'm talking about the free Google Ads grant. Does not allow you to use pictures or videos. And we still had 249,000 impressions. That means it was seen. Our ads were seen 249,000 times. Okay? YouTube is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. I don't know the number offhand. It wasn't that, because YouTube is just one source. Like I said, we have 18 ads. We have about 18 ads, if not more. I forget. I send Ariane, hey, make an ad for this, make an ad for that. Loving it. But yes, YouTube, #1 search engine in the world. So how would you use YouTube to get volunteers, interns, and community service workers, if you want to use it for that too? Easy. What we do is we have explainer videos. What's an explainer video, Erica? Well, an explainer video is just that. It's about 1.5 to 2 minutes video that explains what you do. So it can be longer on YouTube, but if a budget is your main concern, I'll tell you what I had a client do. I had them go onto Fiverr, okay, Fiverr.com, and that's where everything, when it first started, Fiverr, everything was $5. Well, things can go up from there. And so that client paid $12 for an explainer video about their services, about their business. That's it. And it's all of like 90 seconds long. And the reason why you don't want it long is because now you can share that video across not just YouTube, but Instagram, because Instagram, it has to be a short video. And on Instagram, hey, you get to work in those hashtags. On YouTube, you get to work in those tags. Yeah, you can get a phenomenal response with a good professionally made video for 12. Now, that was 2 years ago. I don't know what it costs now, but honestly, an explainer video shouldn't cost you any more than $15. It really shouldn't cost you any more. That's what the fees. You can go on Instagram, and I'm sure you put in there hashtag explainer video. There are going to be a bunch for you to choose from. There are going to be a bunch of Instagram pages for you to choose from. Okay? So that is how you use YouTube to find and attract, to be found by the team members you want to work with. You want them to see your organization, and you put the right tags and and a good description. Again, a good description. You set your YouTube channel up for success, and it will take you far. It will definitely take you far. So again, that was a bonus. And so it's actually 10. Well, I know I said 9 free ways. Well, I gave you 10, but if you take the Chamber of Commerce out, because that does cost, then you still have 9, right? 9 free ways to get the team members that you need that can help you grow, expand, and make a bigger impact in your community. So now, if you're interested in volunteering with Life Changers, hey, come on through. We welcome you. We take interns. We take volunteers. We take community service workers. We just have to have a chat to make sure that we can create a win-win situation for both of us, because that's the only way that I work. And if it's a yes, we'll go ahead and get you started. If you would like to be a guest on the CNN podcast, awesome. Visit our website, thecnnpodcast.com. Click the Be a Guest tab and complete the form on that page. You will be contacted to set up a day and time to record. We invite people who work with either nonprofit or community organizations, or even a for-profit who serves nonprofit and community organizations. So that's who we like to speak with on the show. However, if you are a for-profit and you have a product or service that you want to sell and you want to show off in front of the thousands who listen to our podcast each month, you are more than welcome to advertise with us. You can get a mention on the podcast and or be listed on our website. So the podcast is a great deal. Why? Because it's on there forever. We're not going back to edit out your advertisement. The website is for 1 month. So if you're interested in that, and that's not just for-profit, nonprofits, if you have something that you want to sell as well, you are more than welcome to advertise with us, of course. The CNN podcast is a division of Life Changers, Inc. Therefore, all donations made to the CNN podcast will benefit Life Changers, Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Therefore, your donation is 100% tax deductible. So if you have any questions, please visit our website, thecnnpodcast.com, and one of our team members will get back to you. Until next time, family, as always, be awesome and be blessed. Thank you.